Not only has Jeff Teague never beaten LeBron in a series, but he's also never beaten him in a playoff game. I want to take you guys back a whole decade ago. The 2015 season was a very interesting time. The parity was low, the viewers were high, the Nets sold their whole farm for 39-year-old Kevin Garnett. Anthony Davis was still the PER prince. It was a very, very fun time. But honestly, the most interesting story out of all of them was the first-seeded Atlanta Hawks. And I don't even want to say the Atlanta Hawks were bad. I do want to say they were just a little weird. 60-20 win team, first seed, and blowing teams out by the third quarter. Weird. Like, imagine the Indiana Pacers, but instead of Tyrese Halliburton, it was like campaign. But now that I've laid down the groundwork, I want to talk about the playoffs now. They weren't the overwhelming favorites to win the championship in the 2015 year, but they for sure were at least a dark horse. Kyle Korver was on the verge for the first ever 50-50-90 season. Jeff Teague was on his way to becoming the next best point guard. And Al Horford was at the peak of his powers. The Hawks, I don't want to say struggled in the first two rounds, but they won both rounds in 6 games. And that could have been a slight indicator for what was going to happen next series. During All-Star Weekend, LeBron James had a quick conversation with Jeff Teague. He was like, hey, just so you know, we figured you out. Just a little bit confused because out of the last 3 of the 4 games they faced each other that season, they gave him belts. When the series started, he proceeds to bring Jeff Teague into every single pick and roll action and had him decide, okay, do you want me to go ISO or does your team want to help and I'm just going to keep dishing it to the corner? They get swept. A year goes by, Jeff Teague's team is just not the same anymore. None of them are all-stars, Jeff's numbers drop, and they kind of don't know where they're going. And you know what happens? They see each other again and they get swept. A year goes by, he extensively gets traded because of there's a pretty much only bad blood back in Atlanta. So he's out here in the Indiana Pacers uniform. There's a new young superstar. There's the young pieces around him. It's going to be a fun time. They're going to try and make a push. The playoffs come around, and just like the inevitability of LeBron's East, they get swept. And after that, he gets hit with the most career-damaging label, a journeyman. But he did what a lot of journeymen couldn't. He went and eventually got the ring. So hey, shouts out to Jeff Teague.